Look at them. They seek attention, like hungry dogs, begging for a crumb of validation. They laugh too loud, talk too fast, exaggerate every story as if their life depended on it. They believe this will attract respect, that they will be admired. But the reality is different. Nobody respects desperation. And then there are the others, those who don't ask for permission to exist, who don't need to prove anything. They walk into a room and, without uttering a single word, capture every gaze. It's not luck, it's not genetics, it's not a cheap seduction trick. It's something deeper, something few understand, and even fewer master: personal magnetism. This is not about artificial charisma, nor about prefabricated social techniques. It's about an energy you emanate when you control your inner world, when you are not a slave to your emotions or the opinions of others. Most people live reacting like puppets to the strings of ego and external validation. But the Stoics discovered the secret. Real power comes from self-mastery. When you achieve this, people perceive you differently. Your presence becomes unmistakable. They respect you without you asking for it. They listen to you even if you don't raise your voice. They admire you without you having to impress anyone. And in this video, I'm going to reveal how to achieve it. 9 Stoic principles that separate the strong from the weak, those who impose their presence from those who beg to be noticed. 9 keys that, if you master them, will make you impossible to ignore. 1. Control your emotions, or they will control you. Look around you. It doesn't take much to make someone lose control. An out-of-place comment, an unexpected problem, a small frustration, and they immediately explode. They get upset, raise their voice. Their gestures give them away. They are not masters of themselves. They are slaves to their impulses. And the worst part is that they don't even realize it. Therein lies the problem. Most people believe that power is demonstrated with force, with aggression, with an immediate response to any provocation. But the truth is that true mastery is not measured by the intensity of your emotions, but by your ability not to be dragged along by them. Think about this. Imagine someone trying to provoke you, insults your intelligence, challenges your patience, does everything possible to get you out of your center. The natural thing would be to react, respond with the same intensity, show that you are not someone to play with. But if you fall into the game, you lose, because now they have taken you to the terrain they wanted. They have taken control over you. The person who does not control their emotions is like a ship without a rudder. All it takes is the wrong wind to blow, and they lose their course. And as long as they continue to operate this way, they will continue to be predictable, manipulable, easy to read. On the other hand, the one who masters their emotions is an impenetrable wall, not because they don't feel, but because they don't allow what they feel to dictate their actions. Look at what happens when 2 people argue. One yells, the other gets even more upset. The situation escalates until both have lost all composure. But now observe what happens when one remains calm. The other gets frustrated, becomes clumsy, desperately seeks a reaction that never comes. Because when they can't control you, they get desperate, and that's when you have the advantage. But this is not just about conflicts with others. It's about not letting fear paralyze you, about not making decisions based on anxiety, about not allowing a momentary emotion to destroy everything you've built. Every time you act under the dominion of an uncontrolled emotion, you become your own worst enemy. This doesn't mean repressing what you feel or pretending that nothing affects you. It means learning to recognize what's happening inside you, but not reacting immediately. Feel the anger, without letting it make you act impulsively. Notice the frustration without letting it drag you down. Observe the anxiety without giving in to it. The trick is to pause, to give yourself a few seconds before speaking, before acting, before letting a moment of weakness define who you are. If you can control what you feel, if you can process it without being dominated by it, you become untouchable, because nothing external will be able to get you out of your center. The next time you feel the urge to react, stop. Observe what is happening inside you and ask yourself, does what I'm feeling deserve to take control of my life at this moment? If the answer is no, then you know what to do. Don't give in to losing control. Don't give away power. Don't let anything or anyone move you from where you have decided to be. Because whoever has no control over themselves has no control over anything. 2. Make your presence a magnet. Some people enter a room and go unnoticed, not because they are invisible, but because they don't know how to occupy their space. Their movements are uncertain. Their body language reveals more than they say. Their energy is scattered. They don't project anything that makes others want to know who they are. And then there are the others, those who don't need to raise their voice to be heard, who don't seek attention, and yet they receive it. It's not magic, it's not luck, and it's certainly not appearance. It's a well-constructed presence, one that is felt without needing to announce itself. The mistake many make is to believe that presence is obtained by acting like someone they are not, exaggerating gestures, speaking louder, or trying to prove their worth with words. But true presence is not forced. It is cultivated. It's about how you move, how you occupy space, how you handle silence and gaze. Imagine being at a table with several people. One talks non-stop, another tries to interrupt to get noticed, while you remain calm, observing, without rushing to intervene. Suddenly, when you decide to speak, everyone listens. Why? Because you don't waste words. Because when you speak, you do it with intention. Personal magnetism has nothing to do with being extroverted or introverted. It has to do with how you present yourself to the world, with the way you walk, with the confidence in your posture, with the way you hold your gaze without hesitation. Small details that send a powerful message. I know who I am, and I don't need anyone to confirm it. Look at those who dominate a room with their mere presence. They are not tense. They are not uncomfortable. They move calmly, as if they belong wherever they are. Not because they think they are better than others, but because they don't feel the need to prove themselves. But this is not just about what others see. It's about what you believe about yourself. If you don't feel worthy of occupying your space, if you doubt your own worth, others will perceive it. You don't have to say it. You transmit it without realizing it. Start by changing what you project. Speak slower, not because you have to imitate someone, but because those who control the pace of a conversation control the attention. Maintain an upright posture, without stiffness, but with the confidence of someone who is not afraid to be seen. Walk with intention, without hurry, without showing insecurity. It's not about pretending, but about aligning your mind and body with the certainty that you have the right to be there. Wherever you go, let your energy affirm it. Because those who feel insignificant project it without realizing it. And those who know they are worth it don't have to prove it. It's noticeable. It's felt. It's remembered. 3. Conquer the moment. Look carefully. Many seem to be present, but they are not really here. Their eyes wander. Their minds jump between memories of the past and worries about the future. Their bodies are in one place, but their thoughts are in another. And that's how they lose control of the moment. Those who truly dominate a space are not the loudest, nor those who try to stand out with forced words. They are the ones who radiate an unwavering presence, those who seem to be completely rooted in the here and now. Not because they strive to capture attention, but because their absolute focus on the present makes them impossible to ignore. It's easy to notice the difference. Those who live trapped in their heads appear restless, respond without thinking, rush to fill uncomfortable silences. Their movements are clumsy, their energy scattered. But those who have conquered the moment move with intention. They speak calmly, without haste, without the need to justify each word. Their gestures are firm. Their gaze is fixed on what really matters. They do not wander. They do not hesitate. They do not falter. The mistake is to believe that attention is won with effort, when in reality, what really attracts is absolute presence. Being here at this precise moment, without distractions, without mental noise. An attention so powerful that others feel it without the need for a single word. Observe any interaction. Those who really listen, who are not waiting for their turn to speak or checking their phone while nodding thoughtlessly, are the ones who create real connections. Because the real impact does not come from what you say, but from how you surrender to the moment. This is not just a tool to influence others. It is a way of life. When the mind stops jumping from one side to the other, every action becomes more precise. Doubt disappears, anxiety loses its strength, confidence solidifies. Nothing is more powerful than someone completely present in what they do. The next time you walk, feel each step. When you train, focus on each repetition as if it were the only one. When you speak, eliminate the rush. Observe, listen. Let each word have intention. Make the present your territory. 4. Authenticity is your superpower. Imagine you're in a market full of imitations, fake branded watches, clothes with poorly attached labels, perfumes that claim to be original but fade within minutes. At first glance, everything seems real, but it's enough to get a little closer to notice the details. The weight is not the same. The materials are more fragile. The essence fades quickly. What is not authentic can never deceive for long. Now think about people. Most spend their life doing the same. They present themselves as something they are not, adjust their personality to fit in, try to project an image they believe will be accepted. And at first, it may work, but eventually, the truth always comes to light. The fake wears out, breaks, crumbles. What is not real does not hold up. This fear of showing oneself as one truly is comes from the need for approval. It is thought that to be valued, one must fit in, follow the social script, soften opinions, disguise flaws, and act as if everything is under control. But there's a problem with that. When you try to be everything to everyone, you end up being nothing. Look at the opposite. Those who do not imitate, who do not try to resemble anyone, who do not seek to fit into prefabricated molds. They don't have to announce that they are different. They don't have to prove their worth with empty speeches. They simply are. And that's why they feel different from the first moment. This is not an invitation to be different for the sake of being so. It's not about being contrary or acting without thinking. Being authentic does not mean being impulsive or defiant. It means being consistent. It means that what you say, what you think, and what you do are aligned without fear of others' reactions. That's the difference between those who leave a mark and those who go unnoticed. It's not talent, it's not appearance, it's not intelligence. It's the ability to sustain their essence without apologies, without strategic modifications, without the need to be approved, because the real has a weight that the fake can never imitate. Look at those who have left a real mark. None of them spent their life seeking approval. They didn't waste their time molding themselves according to others' expectations. Instead of diluting themselves in the crowd, they dared to be their most real version. And that's the key point. Authenticity is not imposed, it is projected. It doesn't need shouts or exaggerations, it simply feels. This applies in any aspect of life. In relationships, those who strive most to be accepted are often the ones who generate the least respect. At work, those who try to imitate others end up losing their essence. In life in general, those who constantly seek external validation never achieve a true sense of security. Now do the exercise. Ask if what you show to the world is really who you are, or if somehow you have become a diluted version of yourself to fit in better. Do you filter your words expecting others' reactions? Do you take care of every gesture for fear of what they might think? Have you sacrificed parts of your essence just to be accepted? Authenticity doesn't mean that everyone will accept you, but it does mean that those who stay close will do so because they respect who you really are. And that is worth infinitely more than any superficial validation. 5. The art of strategic silence. Most people talk too much. They spew words without thinking, trying to fill every empty space with unnecessary noise. They believe that speaking makes them appear interesting, intelligent, or important. But the truth is, the more you talk, the more you reveal, the more you expose yourself, and the more power you unwittingly give away. The Stoics understood this perfectly. Marcus Aurelius said, "Think before you speak, and if what you're going to say isn't better than silence, don't say it." Because real power isn't in speaking. It's in controlling what you choose not to say. Look at anyone who exudes real authority. It's not the one who talks the most, it's the one who speaks when necessary. It's the one who listens, analyzes, and chooses their words carefully. When they finally say something, people pay attention, because every word carries weight, has intention. Think about the most influential leaders, the men and women who command a room effortlessly. They're not the ones trying to impress with unnecessary anecdotes or those who talk non-stop. They're the ones who know when to be quiet. Their silence is intentional, a powerful tool that allows them to read the situation, assess others' intentions, and respond with surgical precision. Strategic silence is not shyness, it's not fear, it's a weapon, one that allows you to observe more than others see, evaluate before acting, and project an aura of mystery and self-control. People fear the void of silence, and when you control it, others fill it with their own insecurities. They expose themselves while you strengthen yourself. But this doesn't just apply to verbal communication. Think about how people display their lives on social media, revealing every thought, every emotion, every detail of their existence without filter. They seek constant validation, but all they achieve is losing power over their own image. Whoever shares too much becomes predictable. Whoever is predictable ceases to be interesting. The Stoic mindset teaches you to be reserved with your thoughts, your emotions, your strategy. Not because you have something to hide, but because mystery is a natural magnet for curiosity and respect. If others can't easily read you, if they don't know what you're thinking or how you'll react, you become unpredictable. And in a world where everyone is striving to be seen, being an enigma is an act of power. There's a psychological phenomenon known as the tension of the void. People hate uncomfortable silences. They despise them because they force them to face their own discomfort. In a conversation, the one who best resists these moments of tension is the one who controls the situation. A clear example is high-level negotiators. They know that, after making an offer, the first one to speak loses, because the human mind desperately seeks to fill the void with words, and in that process reveals more than it should. But mastering silence doesn't simply mean keeping quiet. It means knowing when to speak and when not to. It means making strategic pauses in your speech to force others to hang on to each of your words. It means responding only after calmly analyzing the situation without letting emotions control you. The next time you're in a conversation, resist the urge to fill every space with unnecessary words. Don't feel uncomfortable with silence. Let it work in your favor. Watch how others start to fidget, trying to decipher what you're thinking. That's when you have control. When you finally speak, let it be with intention. Let each word be a bullet, not a shot in the air. Let each sentence have purpose, weight, and direction. And if someone tries to throw you off your center, remember, the one who reacts first is the one who loses. 6. Be a captivating mystery. Everyone seems obsessed with explaining everything. They overshare, divulge every thought, every emotion, every detail of their lives, believing that this will better connect them with others. But there's something they don't understand. What is completely accessible loses value. What is given without effort ceases to be intriguing. The Stoics understood this truth with brutal clarity. Epictetus made it clear when he said, "Men are not disturbed by things, but by the opinion they have of them." The same happens with the perception others have of you. You are not what you say you are. You are what others imagine you are. And when you completely give yourself away from the beginning, you eliminate the possibility of anyone wondering what else is behind. Think of any magnetic figure that has marked history. They were not the ones who revealed every detail from the first moment. They were not the ones who strived to be understood instantly. They were the ones who built an aura of enigma, those who knew when to remain silent, those who left questions unanswered. Mystery captivates because it awakens the need to discover, to solve the enigma, to obtain what is not easily available. Look at the stories that really grab attention. None of them start by revealing everything at once. They leave clues, create expectations, play with uncertainty. If you apply this to your life, you'll notice the difference. You don't need to explain every decision or justify every action. You don't have to offer immediate answers or share every part of your story. Reserve is an art that few master, but those who do become a magnet for curiosity. Appeal and influence work on this same principle. Many believe that showing immediate and constant interest is the key to being liked by someone. They do everything to be noticed, seek to be understood instantly, but end up achieving the opposite effect. What really hooks is the feeling that there is something more, something that has not yet been discovered. It's not about playing with others. It's about understanding that interest is not forced. It is cultivated by leaving room for imagination. The Stoics were masters of emotional self-control, and not just to prevent their emotions from dominating them. They knew that the one who exposes himself completely from the beginning loses influence. Unpredictability is power. Uncertainty makes others strive to understand you, to decode your silences, to try to discover what goes through your mind. It's not about being distant or inaccessible. It's a matter of being intentional with what you share, of not giving away information without thinking about its impact. Mystery does not mean coldness, it means depth. Those who master this skill do not need to seek attention because they generate it naturally. They don't have to explain who they are because their presence speaks for itself. Look at those who possess an undeniable presence. They are not the ones who tell their whole story in the first few minutes. They are the ones who leave room for intrigue. Those who make others want to know more. Those who allow silence to work in their favor. If you become completely predictable, you become forgettable. In a world where everyone competes to be heard, those who leave open questions stay in the minds of others, not because they are inaccessible, but because their energy leaves a mark without needing to impose itself. Think about it the next time you feel the need to explain yourself. Ask yourself if it's really necessary to say everything, or if it's better to leave something to the imagination. The unknown is always more attractive than the obvious. 7. Master indifference. Nothing weakens more than being easily affected by everything that happens around you, reacting to every provocation, letting any opinion alter your mood, losing composure at the slightest criticism. That's exactly what most people do, and that's why they are so easy to manipulate. True magnetism is not built by trying to please or seeking validation. It is built when nothing external has the power to alter you. Well-applied indifference is a weapon, one that protects you from those who seek to control you emotionally. Look at how those who really dominate a room operate. They don't rush to respond. They don't feel the need to defend themselves against any comment. They don't react to every provocation as if they have something to prove. Their body language is relaxed, their gaze unshakable, not because they don't feel anything, but because they have learned not to show it when it's not necessary. When you are indifferent to external noise, you project a presence impossible to ignore. People become obsessed with what they can't affect. They are desperate, not knowing if you care, not understanding if they have provoked you, not seeing any reaction that confirms what they expected. Uncertainty devours them, while you remain firm, unchangeable. But beware. Indifference is not arrogance. It's not about thinking you're superior or despising others. It's about not giving your energy to what doesn't deserve it, not allowing worthless words to drag you into meaningless discussions, knowing what deserves your attention and what simply needs to be ignored. Someone who masters this principle doesn't waste time trying to convince anyone. They don't beg for approval or worry about irrelevant opinions. They don't seek answers in others because they already have their own. And that confidence is what generates attraction. Because in a world where everyone seeks validation, the one who doesn't need it becomes irresistible. If you want to become impervious, start by controlling your reactions. Don't respond immediately when someone tries to provoke you. Don't explain every one of your decisions. Don't wear yourself out trying to change what others think of you. Your time is too valuable to waste on what you can't control. Notice the difference in your day-to-day. When someone criticizes you, instead of justifying yourself, remain silent. When they try to annoy you, smile calmly and move on. When you feel the need to prove something, remember that those who really have power don't announce it. They simply possess it. Selective indifference not only gives you control over yourself, it also forces others to see you with new eyes. Because when you don't react as everyone expects, you become a mystery. And what they can't decipher, they can't ignore. 8. Learn to let go. Many carry more weight than they can bear. They cling to what no longer has a solution, relive past mistakes, hold resentments as if they were useful weapons. But they don't realize that, by holding on to everything so tightly, all they achieve is to weaken themselves. Look at how those who have not learned to let go act. They continue arguing lost battles. They continue justifying decisions that they can no longer change. They continue looking for answers in places where there is nothing left. It's a futile struggle, one that wears down the body, mind, and spirit. True mastery is not measured by how much you can endure, but by your ability to let go of what no longer serves you. Whoever does not learn to let go remains trapped in an invisible prison, carrying a weight that only he himself has decided to hold. But whoever understands this lesson moves with lightness, with unbeatable energy, with a freedom that cannot be bought. It's not about ignoring the past or pretending that nothing matters. It's about accepting what has already happened without allowing it to continue poisoning the present. Not getting trapped in guilt or resentment. Not giving space in the mind to what does not add up, to what no longer has a solution, to what simply does not deserve to be held. Pay close attention. There are those who move forward as if they were carrying an invisible burden on their shoulders. It shows in their body language, in the way they talk, in how they look back, even when they try to move forward. But there are also those who have learned to let go. They move with unshakable confidence, with a lightness that makes everything seem to flow in their favor. Not because their life is easier, but because they have understood that clinging to what no longer exists is a brutal waste of energy. Letting go is not forgetting. It's liberating. It's deciding that a mistake will not define the present, that a betrayal will not be the filter through which the world is viewed, that a fall will not be a chain around the neck. It's understanding that holding a burning coal in your hand only burns you, that insisting on a painful thought only feeds the suffering. But many don't do it. They believe that if they let go of anger, they will be losing. That if they let go of the past, they are betraying what they felt. That if they stop carrying a story, that story will have been in vain. And so they remain trapped, holding a rope that chokes them, as if letting go were worse than continuing to suffer. Ask yourself, how many times have you replayed a situation that has already passed in your mind? How much time have you spent going back to the same thing, analyzing what you could have said, what you could have done differently? How many present moments have been consumed by ghosts of what no longer exists? Nothing can change what has already happened, but clinging to it can destroy what you have today. And that's the real problem. It's not the mistake, it's not the betrayal, it's not the fall. It's the weight you decide to keep carrying long after the moment has gone. Do you want to learn this skill? Start by observing everything you are still unnecessarily holding on to. Ask if it really serves you, if it still contributes something, if it still has value in your life. And if the answer is no, then you know what to do. Let it go. 9. Shine with the calmness that few master. There is something about those who move with calmness that makes them impossible to ignore. It's not passivity, it's not apathy, it's not slowness. It's an absolute mastery of themselves, an unshakable certainty that nothing external deserves to alter their internal state. While many are swept away by the frenzy of the world, accelerating every movement, speaking faster than necessary, reacting to every minor provocation, there are those who seem to live at a different pace. Their words carry weight because they are not rushed. Their presence is felt because it is not scattered. They are not swayed by urgency or the need to prove something. They simply exist with a tranquility that commands respect. It's not about moving slowly or pretending a calmness you don't have. It's about eliminating the need to react to every stimulus, not rushing to speak just to fill the silence, not acting on impulse without thinking about the consequences. It's a level of control that few manage to achieve because most are caught up in the rush, in anxiety, in the desperation to be noticed. Look what happens when someone enters a room without hurry, without tension in their body, without that energy of someone who needs approval. It feels different. That person is not trying to fit in, not trying to impress. They simply are. And that generates a reaction in others, because in a world where everyone seems to be in survival mode, calmness is perceived as a luxury. But achieving this presence is not a matter of pretending. You can't project tranquility if you're on the verge of collapse inside. You can't pretend peace if there is constant chaos in your mind. External calmness is only real when it comes from internal calmness. And to get there, you have to train your mind not to react to every minor distraction. The next time you feel the urge to move quickly, to speak without thinking, to react before analyzing, stop, breathe, take control of your pace. Don't let the world push you at a speed that is not yours. Move with intention. Because those who master their energy, who don't let the outside define their internal state, always end up being the most respected. And in a world full of noise, true authority belongs to those who have learned not to be swept away by the storm.
Thank you for staying until the end of the video. If you watched the whole thing, comment "I am Stoic" as our secret signal to know that you're a true student of Stoicism. Don't forget to subscribe and give the video a like if you enjoyed it. See you in the next video, and remember, keep cultivating your Stoic mind.